Of course, here is a 4-chapter outline for a long, emotional, and sweet revenge story, followed by the first chapter written to your specifications. **** story outline. The Ledger of Betrayal ***** Chapter 1. The Shattered Ledger ***** plot. Elena, a meticulous and hard-working architect, receives a routine notification from her financial institution. To her horror, she discovers her entire investment portfolio, $850,000 in protected government securities. Her life's work and safety net has been liquidated. A frantic call reveals her older brother, Mark, whom she trusted implicitly as her financial advisor, orchestrated the sale. He is evasive, offering weak excuses about market volatility and reinvesting. The chapter ends with Elena feeling a cold, terrifying certainty that this was no mistake, but a profound betrayal as the foundation of her world crumbles. Emotional core. Shock, disbelief, and the chilling realization of betrayal from a loved one. Chapter 2. The Web of Lies plot. Elena digs deeper, using her analytical skills to trace the money. She discovers the funds weren't lost in a bad investment, but were funneled into a risky, speculative venture owned by Mark's secret business partner. She uncovers his hidden life of debt and luxury, financed by his embezzlement from other clients. The emotional climax is a confrontation where Mark, cornered, drops the pretense. He accuses her of being selfish, for sitting on the money, claiming he was going to double it for both of them, and that she owes him for his years of advice. The familial bond Chinese letter severed. Emotional core. Anger, grief, and the painful process of unmasking a sibling's true selfish nature. Chapter 3. The Architect's Design plot. Grief turns into cold, calculated resolve. Elena realizes the law is on her side, the securities were in her name, and Mark's actions are blatant fraud. But she doesn't just want her money back. She wants him to feel the utter powerlessness he inflicted on her. She devises a plan. She secretly records a confession from him, baits him into boasting about his surefire new venture, and alerts the regulatory authorities anonymously. She becomes the architect of his ruin, piece by piece, all while maintaining a facade of defeated acceptance. Emotional core. The transition from victim to strategist, the cold fire of righteous vengeance. Chapter 4. A Reckoning in Irony plot. The trap is sprung. As Mark is about to close his big deal, the SEC freezes his assets, and his business partner abandons him. Elena reveals her role, not with shouting, but with calm, devastating clarity. The sweet revenge is the poetic justice. The court not only forces Mark to liquidate his own assets, his house, his car, his precious venture, to repay her every cent with interest, but he also faces professional disbarment and criminal charges. The final scene is Elena, her financial security restored, looking at her brother not with hatred, but with pity, as he faces the consequences of his own greed. She walks away free from his shadow, her future secured and her strength proven. Emotional core. Triumph, closure, and the bittersweet taste of justice served. Chapter 1. The Shattered Ledger the scent of freshly sharpened pencils and warm vellum was Elena's sanctuary. In the clean, minimalist space of her home office, blueprints for the new community library were spread before her, a testament to order, structure, and a future built on solid foundations. At 32, she had built her life like she built her designs, with precision, foresight, and a deep-seated need for security that was a direct result of their parents' financially chaotic passing. A soft asterisk ping asterisk from her laptop, an email notification from Crestwood Financial, was an uninvited guest in her piece. It was a routine quarterly statement, but the subject line, confirmation of portfolio liquidation, made the oxygen vanish from the room. Asterisk liquidation. Asterisk, that wasn't a word in her vocabulary. Not for this portfolio. With fingers that had gone cold and clumsy, she clicked open the email. The numbers on the screen blurred, then snapped into a horrifying, impossible clarity. Asterisk asterisk account value $0.00. Asterisk asterisk, a high-pitched ringing started in her ears. This was a mistake, a grotesque system error. This wasn't just any account. This was her anchor, $850,000. Every freelance commission she'd tirelessly earned, every sacrifice she'd made, meticulously converted over a decade into protected government securities. It was the fortress she had built against the world's unpredictability, the guarantee that she would never be as vulnerable as she felt at 16, standing at her parents' graveside. And it was gone. Her first call was to Crestwood, her voice a strained thread of professionalism as she was passed from one confused representative to another. There must be a glitch, she insisted, her heart hammering against her ribs. The securities can't be sold without my direct, verified authorization. The silence on the other end was heavy, ominous. Then the manager's voice, laced with uncomfortable pity, delivered the blow. The transaction was initiated and verified by your financial advisor of record, M.S. Rossi, Mr. Mark Rossi. He provided all the necessary documentation and power of attorney. The world didn't just tilt, it shattered. Mark, the name was a breath, a prayer, a curse. Her brother, her older brother, who had held her hand at the funeral, who had promised their dad he'd always look out for her. The same brother who, as a successful financial advisor, had convinced her to let him manage her portfolio. It's what family is for, Elle. I'll make sure your future is safe. She ended the call, the phone slipping from her numb fingers to clatter on the hardwood floor. The sound echoed in the silent room. She dialed Mark's number, her thumb smearing tears she hadn't realized she was shedding. He answered on the third ring, his voice infused with a false, breezy warmth that now sounded like a well-rehearsed lie. Elena, hey, I was just about to call you. Mark. Her voice was flat, a dead thing. My portfolio, it's gone. A beat of silence. She could almost hear the gears grinding in his head. The frantic search for a plausible story. Oh, that, right, I was going to explain. Look, don't panic. The market, there were some indicators. I saw a chance to pivot, to get you into a much higher yield asset class. I had to move fast. It's all part of the strategy. A strategy to liquidate $850,000 in government-secured bonds without telling me. The cold in her veins was spreading, freezing the grief, crystallizing it into something sharper, harder. Where is the money, Mark? It's in transit, Elle, settling. You know how these things are. It'll be in the new fund by tomorrow. I was going to surprise you. His tone was slick, patronizing. It was the tone he used when he was hiding something, a tone she'd heard him use on their mother when he'd crashed the family car. But this wasn't a car, this was her life. I want the transaction records, she said, her voice trembling not with sadness, but with a rising, terrifying fury. I want every document, now. Elena, relax, you're being hysterical, trust me. Have I ever steered you wrong? The question hung in the air, a grotesque joke. He'd steered her entire future into a black hole. The trust she had placed in him, the blind familial faith, now felt like a noose around her neck. As he continued to spin his web of vague assurances and market jargon, Elena's eyes fell back to her blueprints. The lines and angles, once symbols of her control, now seemed to mock her. Her own foundation had been dynamited by the one person sworn to protect it. She ended the call without another word, cutting off his lies. She sat in the profound silence of her home, the sanctuary now feeling like a gilded cage. The initial shock was receding, replaced by a glacial certainty. This was not a mistake. This was not a misguided strategy. This was a betrayal, a calculated, heartless theft, and as the last vestiges of her blind trust in her brother evaporated, a new cold resolve began to take its place. The architect of her own life was now going to have to design a very different kind of structure. One built not on trust, but on the unforgiving steel of revenge. The ledger of their relationship was now open, and she would ensure he paid his debt in full. **** Chapter 2. The web of lies ***. The numbness lasted through the night, a thick, insulating fog that kept the raw agony at bay. But with the dawn the fog lifted, and a sharp, clinical clarity took its place. Grief was a luxury she couldn't afford. Elena was an architect. She understood that before you could rebuild, you had to fully assess the damage, no matter how devastating. She called in sick to work, the lie tasting like ash on her tongue. Her pristine office became a war room. She brewed a pot of black coffee, ignored the trembling in her hands, and began her forensic excavation. First, she secured her remaining accounts, changing passwords and revoking Mark's power of attorney with a few cold, decisive clicks. Each confirmation email was a stitch closing a wound, a small reclamation of control. Then, she began to trace the money. The liquidated funds hadn't simply vanished into a void. They had been moved, first to a holding account she didn't recognize, and then, as she pieced together the digital trail from bank statements and transaction IDs, to a corporate entity named Apex Venture Partners LLC. A quick business registry search revealed the truth. Mark was not just the advisor, he was a named partner, alongside a man named Julian Croft. The pieces, sharp and ugly, began to click into place. This wasn't a reckless gamble with her money. It was a transfer, a planned, executed theft to fund his own failing venture. The next layer of the web was his personal life. Driven by a cold fury, she scoured social media, not his public profile, but the tagged photos, the comments from his fiancée, Chloe. There were pictures from a lavish trip to Tuscany 2 months ago, my love spoiling me. Chloe had captioned a photo of a diamond bracelet. A new, obnoxiously large SUV sat in his driveway in a photo from a barbecue. The narrative was clear. While she had been living frugally, pouring every spare dollar into her fortress of security, he had been living a lie, financing it with embezzlement. Her securities, her safety, had been converted into his watches, his cars, his facade of success. The final crushing piece came from an unexpected source, her own email archives. Searching for Apex, she found it. An email from over a year ago from Mark himself with the subject, "A speculative opportunity not for you." He'd sent it to her by mistake, meant for another client. In it, he had explicitly warned the client against investing in Apex, citing high risk, unproven management, and lack of tangible assets. He had known it was a toxic gamble, and he had fed her life's work into its furnace anyway. The betrayal was no longer a suspicion. It was a documented fact. The familial bond, stretched and frayed over the past 24 hours, finally snapped. She didn't call him. She texted him, her message a stark, unemotional command. "We need to talk, in person. My place now." He arrived an hour later, his face a mask of concerned brotherly irritation. "Elena, this is getting ridiculous. You're working yourself up over nothing." She stood in the center of her living room, arms crossed, the printed email and bank statements laid out on the coffee table between them like evidence at a trial. She didn't offer him a seat. "It's gone to Apex Venture Partners," she stated, her voice devoid of all warmth. "Your company, the one you told Henderson Holdings was too risky to touch." The mask slipped. His eyes darted to the papers, and a flush crept up his neck. For a moment, he was just a boy caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Then, the defensiveness hardened his features. "You've been spying on me. I've been uncovering the truth you stole from me. You didn't reinvest. You stole. You transferred my money into your own failing business. It's not failing." He snapped, the anger she'd seen hints of now bursting forth. "It's on the cusp of a breakthrough. You have no vision, Elena. You just squirrel your money away, too scared to actually live. That money was gathering dust, and I was going to double it, triple it. For both of us, don't you dare," she whispered, the first crack in her icy composure. "Don't you dare frame this as some generous act. You committed fraud, you lied, you stole from your own sister. I am your brother," he roared, stepping forward, his finger jabbing the air. "I've guided you, advised you for years for a pittance. Where's your gratitude? You owe me." The words hung in the air, toxic and absolute. Asterisk, "you owe me." Asterisk, they revealed the rotten core of his perception. Her success was his due. Her security was his to plunder. "I owe you nothing," she said, her voice low and deadly calm. "You were paid for your advice. This is theft. This is you seeing everything I've built and deciding you were entitled to it." His face contorted, the last vestige of the brother she loved crumbling into the visage of a desperate, greedy stranger. "You were always the favorite, the perfect, careful little Elena. Well, life isn't about careful, it's about taking risks, and sometimes you have to leverage what you have to get ahead." "I am not your leverage," she screamed, the emotion finally breaking free, a torrent of pain and fury. "I was your sister. You were supposed to protect me." The shout echoed in the room, leaving a ringing silence. Mark stared at her, his chest heaving. The truth was out naked and ugly between them. There were no more lies to hide behind. He straightened his jacket, a pathetic attempt to reclaim his dignity. "The money is tied up. You'll get it back with interest once the deal closes. Just be patient." He turned and walked out, closing the door softly behind him. The sound was more final than any slam could have been. Elena stood alone in the silence he left behind. The grief was there, a vast, hollow ache for the brother she had just lost forever. But as she looked at the evidence on the table, at the closed door, the grief was encased in something stronger, something unyielding. The weeping was over. The investigation was complete. Now it was time to design the consequences. The love was gone, but the ledger remained. And she would ensure it was balanced to the last, devastating cent. **** Chapter 3. The Architect's Design ***. The silence after Mark's departure was not empty. It was filled with the humming of new, terrible energy. Grief was a quiet, weeping thing. This was a silent, thrumming engine of resolve. Elena did not break down. She did not scream into a pillow or call a friend to sob. She stood in the center of her living room, the ghost of her brother's betrayal clinging to the air, and she began to plan. Rage was a fire. It could warm you or burn your house down. She would not be consumed by it. Instead, she would channel it, forge it into a tool, a weapon. Her revenge would not be a wild, emotional blow. It would be a structure, a masterpiece of consequence, designed with the same meticulous care she gave to her buildings. It would be stable, elegant, and utterly inescapable. Her first step was knowledge. She spent the next 48 hours in a state of focused mania, her laptop glowing deep into the night. She wasn't an attorney, but she was a master of complex systems and regulations. She devoured the rules of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the specifics of financial power of attorney, and the legal precedents for misappropriation of funds. She learned that what Mark had done was not just a civil wrong. It was a criminal act, a felony. The evidence she had, the transaction records, the business registration for Apex, his own damning email was a strong start, but it was circumstantial. She needed a confession. She needed him to admit it on record in his own voice. A plan, cold and perfect, began to form in her mind. It had two pillars: the legal, which would reclaim her money, and the personal, which would dismantle his entire world. She went to a small, independent electronics store across town and paid cash for a voice-activated recorder, a sleek, pen-like device. It felt heavy in her hand, not with weight, but with purpose. Then she initiated phase 1, the performance of defeat. She called Mark 2 days later. She made her voice sound small, frayed, the picture of a defeated little sister. "Mark, I've been thinking." She took a shaky breath, a calculated pause. "You're right, I overreacted. I was just so scared, but you're my brother. You've always looked out for me. If you really believe in this Apex deal, maybe I need to trust you." She could almost hear the relief flooding through the phone line, a palpable, oily wave. "Elena, thank God. You're finally seeing sense. I told you, this is going to be huge. I need to understand." She pressed, her voice laced with feigned vulnerability. The pen recorder on her desk was a silent, watching eye. "To feel safe, can you just walk me through it? How my money is going to grow, where it is now. I need to hear the plan from you, so I can stop panicking." Greed and arrogance, she had calculated, would overpower his caution, and she was right. He came over that evening, oozing a patronizing confidence. She played her part perfectly. She made tea, her hands trembling just enough to be believable. She sat on the couch, looking small and lost, while he paced her living room,